Kirsten from the Art Gallery. Welcome back to Culture Vulture from Home. Today we'll be making homemade Play-Doh. It's hours of fun to play with, and you can even bake them to make little sculptures. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so here's what you'll need. Some flour, some table salt, a little bit of olive oil or canola oil, a bowl to mix it all up in, and our recipe. So, my favorite recipe to use is 1 cup flour, half a cup salt, half a cup water, and 3 to 6 teaspoons of olive oil. That just kind of goes for how you want the dough to feel. Personal preference there. Since I just want to make a small batch, I'm going to half the recipe and do a half a cup of flour, 1/4 cup of salt. You want to put the flour and the salt in first, and then combine them, mix it up so they're all nice and combined together. Then I make a little hole in the middle, just as if I was making pizza dough, and I'll add my oil. I'm just using regular olive oil for this. I'm sure other types of oil would work great too. And for this half recipe, I'm just going to do 3 teaspoons of olive oil. If you're doing the full recipe, you could do a little bit more. Again, the olive oil is just personal preference. Just depends how you'd like it to feel. All right, now I'm adding the 1/4 cup, because I halved my recipe, of water. Now we're going to mix it all up. And just keep mixing until it's really well combined. If you have an electric mixer, you could use one of those. If your dough is slimy and more of a soup, add some more flour. If your dough is feeling dry and maybe it's all crumbling like this, add a little bit more water. That looks pretty good. Now you're going to take it out of your bowl and put it down on your countertop or your table and continue to combine all the ingredients, mixing them together. If you've ever made bread, you know how to do this part. I just push my dough back and forth with the heel of my hand, fold it in half and push it again, twist it and turn it until it's beautifully combined. Roll it into a ball. Look how quick and easy that is. We already have Play-Doh. Amazing. All right, now let's talk about colors. So of course, you don't have to add colors if you don't want. You could leave it this nice white creamy color and then bake it and paint it after. But if you want colors, there are a few options. You can use paint or food dye. I did up these samples, so this one is blue paint. And it works pretty good. And this is blue food dye. I find that the food dye is a little bit more vibrant than the paint, but food dye does not wash off your hands very well. I still have some stains on mine from when I made these earlier. So if you want something that will wash off of your hands, I would go with a washable acrylic paint. If not, go for food dye. All right, let's make some. So all I do is I divide my dough up into a couple different colors that I want. And I squish my thumbs in the middle to make a little kind of bowl. Just like that. Then you're going to take your pigment of choice and add your color into the middle. For food dye, I start with about 5 drops. You can always add more later, but you can't take it away. And again, how much you add depends on how much dough you're making. And look, I'm already covered. Oh dear. I don't mind stains, so I'm going to use food dye. Then you take your little bowl with your happy little dye in the middle, and you squish it all together. Whoa, this looks crazy. And to get the color as smooth and as seamless as I did with these blue ones, you have to knead it and smush it and roll it around for quite a while. I find this really relaxing though. You can pull it out and then fold it or roll it up, smush it again. If you want marbled color, which is when you have veins of colors together like this, you could just leave it at this stage and bake it or make something out of it now. All right, let's smush up the green one now. They almost look like cookies. Except you would not want to eat these cookies. They would be extremely salty. Again, just keep mixing to combine your colors. So if I wanted these completely smooth, like these blue ones, I would just keep kneading them and rolling them around. Another way to add color is by using things in your pantry. I had some turmeric, which is a bright yellow spice used in cooking, and I added that turmeric to this dough that I made yesterday. And look at how beautiful it is. Oh dear, I'm getting green dye on it, but I think it's just the most exquisite yellow. So you can explore your kitchen pantry for different colors that you can add too. If you had beet juice, that would make a really nice bright red. If you had some blueberry juice or maybe grape juice, that would make a bluish purple. Lots of options, and they smell good too. So now we have all of our colors really nicely mixed and combined together, and my hands are covered in food dye. I just wanted to show you what you should do if your Play-Doh starts drying out, kind of like this one here. It gets crumbly, it's not nice and smooth like this one. All you have to do to reconstitute it is get a little bit of olive oil or canola oil and just get a little bit on your hand, like that, and then just work the clay and it'll soak up that oil from your hands and get nice and smooth again, and it'll last a little bit longer. Ta-da! Now we can make fun things, and that I'll leave up to you guys. Whatever you want to make, you can make whatever you imagine. You can make little cats and dogs. You could make food and have a little food stand. You could make a sneaky snake, like I am. Of course, this is the part that's the most fun. It's making it into long pieces or round pieces. Making flowers or animals. Of course, whatever you want. And again, if it gets kind of dry, just add a little bit of oil in your hand and it'll get better. All right, If you have kids, this is a super fun activity for relatively cheap and super easy. And then the snake ate the flower and slithered away. You could make stop motion videos. All right, so let's say you make something that you really want to keep a little bit longer, because this clay will last a week or two and then it'll get gross because it is made out of perishable food items. What I do is I put mine into Tupperware, just like this. Seal it up. That'll help it stay moist and last a little bit longer. But like I said, if you make something that you really want to last longer, all you have to do is bake it at around 200 to 250 degrees in your oven for around 20 to 60 minutes, depending on how thick it is. Let's say you make something that's really flat, like a necklace pendant, like this, we'll pretend. You could put a hole in it, put your necklace through, it's really flat. Just put it on a cookie sheet, and that won't take that long to bake at all. You'll notice it might start going brown. That's when you take it out. You could also tap it when it's in the oven and feel if it's hard, then you know. These ones I made earlier, and they took longer. They took about an hour to cook, and you can hear they firmed up pretty nice. I don't think they baked all the way through. They still feel a little pliable, just a little bit, but they'll last longer this way. And then all I did was I took some paints and a little brush and I painted them. So this is a little cactus in a plant pot that I made. She has a little flower, and I used different textures here, lines and polka dots to make it interesting to look at. And the other thing I made was this little turtle. I made both of these out of my yellow Play-Doh and then baked them, again for about an hour on a low heat. So you can paint them once they've come out of the oven and they've cooled. You could even get a marker and draw on them. The possibilities, as always with art, are endless. This is one fancy turtle. All right, just like that. Well, I hope you had fun at this month's Culture Vulture. Please send us photos of your creations. We would love to see what you make. You can find us on Instagram or Facebook, or our website is also where our emails are. Lots of options. Thanks so much. Bye. I hope that you had fun making Play-Doh with us. Be sure to check back on our YouTube channel for more arts and crafts videos, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram to stay up to date with what we've been doing. Bye.